Just days ago, Europe was basking in a mild, golden autumn. Parks were full of laughter, cafes were bustling with conversation, and the air carried only the faintest hint of the coming cold. It was a gentle, almost idyllic transition toward winter, with people savoring the last warm rays of sunlight and the vibrant colors of falling leaves. But as everyone knows, weather can change in an instant, and sometimes it does so with little warning. Suddenly, a powerful polar vortex swept down from the Arctic, colliding violently with the lingering pockets of warm air that still clung to the continent. The atmosphere churned, and meteorologists watched as the weather maps lit up with swirling, ominous patterns. The result was a historic, brutal freeze that caught millions off guard. Commuters, families, and entire cities were unprepared for what was coming. Temperatures plunged by more than 15 degrees Celsius in just a matter of hours, leaving people scrambling for coats and shelter. Cities from Stockholm to Berlin saw their skies turn a heavy, unbroken gray. Winds howled through the streets, and snow began to blanket everything in sight, transforming familiar landscapes into something almost unrecognizable. The usual city sounds, traffic, chatter, footsteps, faded away, replaced by the eerie silence of a continent in shock, as if the world itself was holding its breath. This wasn't a gentle snowfall, it was winter kicking down the door with a force that demanded attention, battering cities and countryside alike. The storm's speed left little time to prepare. People rushed to stock up on essentials, but for many, it was already too late. Streets emptied almost instantly, and the world seemed to pause, as if frozen in time by the relentless storm. The rapid escalation made this storm especially dangerous. Emergency services struggled to keep up as roads became treacherous and cars were stranded in the snow. In less than a single day, Europe shifted from the calm of autumn to the chaos of a full-blown winter crisis, with leaves disappearing under thick layers of snow. Power grids strained under the demand, travel ground to a halt, and daily life was upended as airports closed and trains stopped running. Tonight, millions face a new, harsh reality. Huddled indoors, watching as their neighborhoods disappear beneath a relentless blanket of snow. The storm's impact stretches from the icy Norwegian fjords in the north to the very heart of the continent, affecting cities, towns, and rural areas alike. This is not just another winter, it's a major weather crisis, dominating headlines and mobilizing emergency crews across Europe. We're tracking the story as it unfolds, with millions glued to weather updates and lives everywhere affected by this unprecedented event. Europe is now in the grip of a winter no one saw coming, a season that arrived overnight, rewriting the rules and reminding us all of nature's power. The word snowpocalypse is trending for a reason. It's not just a catchy headline, it captures the scale of what's unfolding across Europe right now. This isn't just a heavy snow day, it's a full-blown weather emergency, one that overwhelms entire societies and pushes infrastructure to its breaking point. We're talking about feet of snow falling in a matter of hours, not just a light dusting. Streets and sidewalks vanish beneath a relentless white blanket. Blizzard conditions, howling winds, swirling snow, and near-zero visibility make travel not just difficult, but downright impossible and dangerous. Snowdrifts pile up so high that cars disappear and doorways are blocked, trapping people inside their own homes. Arctic air has sent temperatures plummeting to -15 or even -20 Celsius, turning cities into frozen landscapes overnight. For those without heat or shelter, these brutal conditions can be deadly. Vulnerable populations face life-threatening risks as the cold intensifies. Power grids are under immense strain. Outages can quickly become life-threatening, leaving thousands without heat or electricity for hours or even days. A snowpocalypse is the perfect storm. Heavy snow, high winds, bitter cold, and widespread disruption all happening at once, creating chaos on a massive scale. It paralyzes even the most prepared societies, grinding daily life to a halt, and challenging emergency services at every turn. Communities are tested, and resilience is pushed to the limit. Neighbors come together, helping each other dig out and stay safe. What's happening in Europe right now is a textbook example of how extreme weather can disrupt modern life on a continental scale. Transportation is halted, power is out, and daily routines are shattered. Trains, buses, and cars are all at a standstill. This is more than inconvenience. It's a true emergency, forcing people to seek shelter and rely on community support. The effects are rippling across the continent tonight, with millions affected and entire cities brought to a standstill. Europe is facing a storm that will be remembered for years, a historic event that will shape how we prepare for winter in the future. This storm began in the Arctic, gathering strength as it moved south. Scandinavia was first. Norway, Sweden, and Finland hit by snow and wind. The system absorbed moisture from the seas, turning into a snow machine. It swept across the Baltic, slamming into Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, then Poland, and Germany. On weather maps, a massive band of snow crawled across Europe. Each hour, new regions fell under its grip. What started as a northern problem became a continental crisis. Central Europe, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Austria, now faces the brunt. Major cities are buried, and the storm moves slowly, dumping record snow. Its slow pace means relentless accumulation and danger. The storm's path is a trail of disruption for tens of millions. Tracking its movement shows who's been hit hardest, and who's next. Europe is bracing for more as the storm continues its march. Scandinavia faced the storm's first and fiercest blow, as a relentless wall of snow swept across the region, transforming familiar landscapes into a world of white. Rural communities in Norway and Sweden are completely cut off, buried under nearly 5 feet of snow that fell in just a matter of hours, leaving homes and farms isolated from the outside world. Snowplows can't keep up with the relentless accumulation, roads are closed for days, and travel becomes impossible even for emergency vehicles. Residents rely on neighbors and their own preparedness, sharing food, firewood, and supplies as communities come together to weather the storm. Major cities like Oslo and Stockholm are paralyzed, public transport suspended, airports closed, and daily life grinding to a halt as the snow continues to fall. Winds up to 80 kilometers per hour create blizzard conditions even downtown, whipping snow into drifts and reducing visibility to near zero. Authorities urge everyone to stay home unless it's an emergency, warning that venturing out could be life-threatening in these extreme conditions. Stories of resilience emerge, villagers using snowmobiles to deliver supplies to those trapped, and families surviving for hours stranded in their cars before being rescued. The economic impact is immediate. Ports closed, businesses shut, and supply chains disrupted as the region grinds to a standstill. Scandinavia's famed winter response is stretched to the limit, with crews working around the clock and emergency services pushed to their breaking point. The storm is a test of both infrastructure and spirit, as people band together to repair damage and support one another through the crisis. The region is digging out, but the warning is clear for the rest of Europe. This storm is unlike anything seen in recent memory. This is not just another winter storm, it's a wake-up call, a reminder of nature's power and unpredictability. Scandinavia's struggle is a preview of what's to come elsewhere, as the storm front moves south and the rest of Europe braces for impact. As the storm moved south, Central Europe was next. Germany's infrastructure is under severe strain, Berlin buried, transport crippled, even the efficient S-Bahn and U-Bahn networks are nearly halted. Poland faces blizzards from coast to mountains, the military is clearing roads and aiding the stranded. Rural villages are isolated, with power outages and dwindling supplies. In the Czech Republic and Austria, the Alps are buried, avalanche risks soar, and ski resorts are locked down. Major cities like Prague are picturesque but paralyzed. Airports and trains are at a standstill. Communities are helping each other, but anxiety and frustration are high. Families worry, businesses lose money, and daily life is on pause. The storm has forced millions to stop and wait. Central Europe remains on high alert as snow keeps falling. The region is bracing for what comes next. Travel across Europe has collapsed. Major airports, Berlin, Warsaw, Copenhagen, are shut down. Thousands stranded. De-icing can't keep up, and crosswinds make flying dangerous. High-speed trains are crippled. Snow and ice freeze tracks and switches. Even running trains crawl, causing massive delays. Highways are blocked by jackknife trucks and stranded cars. Emergency services struggle to keep up as snow keeps falling. Authorities urge, don't travel unless it's life or death. Supply chains are disrupted. Food and medicine deliveries are stuck. The paralysis shows how vulnerable modern society is to extreme weather. For now, much of Europe is simply waiting for the snow to stop. Power outages are now a life-threatening crisis. Heavy snow and wind have snapped lines and toppled trees, leaving hundreds of thousands without electricity. No power means no heat, no light, and no way to communicate. Families huddle for warmth, melting snow for water, facing a basic struggle for survival. Utility crews work around the clock, but blocked roads and blizzard conditions slow progress. For every line fixed, another fails. The cold is relentless, and help is hard to reach. This storm exposes our dependence on electricity and our vulnerability. Most take power for granted, but now, it's a matter of life and death. Are we prepared for days without heat or supplies? For many, these are no longer hypothetical questions. The snowpocalypse has forced thousands into survival mode. The fight is not just against snow, but against the cold and darkness. Europe is learning hard lessons about resilience. How does this storm stack up against history? Many recall the beast from the east in 2018, Siberian air, heavy snow, chaos, or the 1978-79 Schnee catastrophe in Germany, when towns were buried and the military airlifted supplies. Today's storm rivals those in scale and disruption, but our world is more connected and dependent on technology than ever. A power outage now means losing internet, information and communication. While forecasting is better, our vulnerabilities have changed. This storm stands out for its rapid intensification and record snow. Comparing past and present gives perspective. This is not just another winter, it's a historic event that will be remembered for years. Amid the chaos, there's hope on the horizon. Meteorologists say the worst is nearly over, the storm is losing strength, snow will fall for another day but with less intensity, winds are dying down, ending blizzard conditions and improving safety. Cleanup can finally begin, though it will be a massive task. The cold will linger, bringing new challenges, ice, and continued power outages, but forecasts show milder Atlantic air arriving soon, promising a gradual thaw. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. Communities will dig out, check on neighbors, and start to recover. Europe's response has shown strength and solidarity. The snow will melt, and life will slowly return to normal. The storm will be remembered, but so will the resilience. A new chapter begins as the continent emerges from the deep freeze.